Cam Thomas accepted a $6 million qualifying offer from the Nets. He decided to bet on himself so he could become an unrestricted free agent next offseason. Clearly, he felt disrespected by Brooklyn. Shams wrote that he rejected Brooklyn's offers of 2 years, $30 million with a team option in his second season. Their other offer was 1 year, $9.5 million with incentives up to $11 million. However, by signing that deal, he would be getting rid of his no trade clause. So now Brooklyn can't just trade him anywhere. In order for that to happen, he would have to sign off on it. Clearly, he valued that, hence why he took less money. Cam Thomas wants to be one of the main guys on a team. The problem is, around the league, he's not viewed like that. Zach Lowe stated the consensus on Cam Thomas, if there is one, and he's got some fans and he's got some mega detractors, but the consensus is kind of like empty calories ball hog. I also saw this post from Shaq's NBA that perfectly depicts the thinking of his haters. It states, "It's crazy how invaluable these types of players became so quickly. In like the past year or two, the NBA woke up to who actually impacts winning rather than the raw box score." Now, before I give my opinion, I want to hear your thoughts on Cam Thomas in the comments section. Personally, I'm somewhere in the middle. That last post I just mentioned, I just don't agree that these players are not valuable anymore. At the end of the day, whether people want to admit it or not, this game is about a bucket. The problem is Cam Thomas is not on the level of a Shea. Him being the highest usage player on a team is probably not going to lead you anywhere. I think the ceiling of that is someone like Tyler Hero, and you saw last season he was the guy for the Miami Heat, and it ended in a 37-45 record. I think that is like the max, or a 500 record with Cam Thomas as your number one option. But you've also seen Tyler Hero. Remember the bubble run? He was just another guy out there, right next to Jimmy Butler, feeding off his gravity, and he had a great playoff run. So this notion that bucket getters don't provide any value if they don't bring defense or anything like that is going way too far, in my opinion. I mean, you saw it a couple years ago. Jordan Poole was perfect for the Warriors off the bench, providing scoring. He was crucial in that playoff run. Everyone forgets, no one mentions it. He was averaging 17 points per game while shooting 50% from the field and 39% from three during that run. But guess what? He was playing 27.5 minutes per game. It was not a guarantee for him every night to play above 25 minutes. And that's a problem with Cam Thomas, is he believes he's more than that. He believes he should be a guaranteed 30 minutes a night. And do you really blame him? It's easy for us to sit back and be like, oh, he should buy into a lesser role, a six-man role. Well, actually, how about you go out there in an NBA game and you're putting up 40 points on consecutive nights? What are you going to think in your head? Think about it. He's only 23 years old. He's not at the maturity level just to be like, okay, I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy. I mean, you see with Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, those types of guys, they're old age, but they still believe that they should be playing high minutes on whatever team they're on. Basketball players are not built to think like us common people. And most likely the reason they got to the level they're at is because of their inflated ego and confidence. I mean, listen to his numbers as a starter throughout his NBA career. He was averaging 24 points per game while shooting 44% from the field. That's more than Donovan Mitchell. That's more than Tyler Hero, Zach LaVine, Norman Powell, Jalen Williams, Jalen Green, Jordan Poole, Kobe White. Most of those players are getting paid $25 to $30 million a year. And most of them even more than that. So if you're Cam Thomas and his agents, you're pointing to Zach LaVine in Sacramento and saying he's getting paid $47 million. You want my client to take $15 million a year? Are you crazy? Tyler Hero in Miami, $30+ million a year? Oh, by the way, my client, Cam Thomas, is much younger. He's doing this at 23 years old. But here's the thing. The second apron, the new CBA, has kind of forced teams to not be able to just throw around money to throw around money. Because if you do, you can get yourself screwed as an organization. Personally, I honestly see both sides. I see the empty stat calorie argument because at this point in Cam Thomas' career, he has been really one-dimensional. He hasn't bought into the little things, But also, he's super young and he does provide a lot of value offensively. You saw that last season in 25 games. In the 781 minutes with him on the floor, Brooklyn had 116.4 offensive rating compared to 107.7 without him, meaning they were operating at a top 10 offense in the league pace with him on the court. And you saw good results when he was around competent players. His most played lineup was 106 minutes of Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Claxton, Schroeder, and Finney Smith. That lineup had a plus 7.9 net rating in 106 minutes played and operated at a top offense in the league pace and a top defense in the league pace as well. The problem is his defense and his attention on defense is not very good. 123 defensive rating with him on the floor, 115.1 with him off the court. Defensively, they were operating at a worst in the league pace with him on the floor. That's just not good enough. But also, I think it's fair to point out, he's 23 years old. And all of his life, all he's been doing is scoring. So getting buy-in, but also, just making progress at that end, knowing where to be at all times, things like that, it's going to take time. And most likely, it's going to take a great team environment. And Brooklyn last season consistently was not that. And so far in his career, in the seasons when he's gotten big minutes, the Nets have been a losing team, with or without him. So honestly, if I'm being real, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's a losing player or a winning player. The sample size is just too small. He's too young. I firmly believe there's an environment somewhere out there to get the most out of him. And I believe that for most NBA players. But the thing is, it's very hard to find those situations a lot of the time. I mean, look at a guy like Aaron Gordon, what he was on the Magic compared to what he is now for Denver. I'm not comparing Cam Thomas to Aaron Gordon in terms of play style, but I'm just saying, right now he's known as a winner. And when he was in Orlando, because the team was just bad, he was never talked about and his stats were kind of just overlooked. Getting to Denver's situation got the most out of him. And somewhere in there, he had a moment where he realized, I don't got to be the guy. I don't need to be putting up points. I can be great at the other things. Who knows what it was, but I think it's fair to say Cam Thomas needs that moment as well. But one thing's clear, he's got to be a bit better defensively. So Basketball Index, NBA front offices use this site. He was graded F for matchup difficulty, which means he's not guarding a great offensive player. He's guarding the least productive player 99% of the time. Yet you look at his perimeter defense grades, there's nothing good about it. I don't expect him to be an elite defender by any means, but he can definitely be better than what he has been at that end of the floor. And I think if he does make strides in that area, the narrative would start to shift and people would respect his stats a little more. That's what they're going to be watching for next season. The scoring will be there. He's going to have games where he just goes nuclear. But also, is he combining that with some playmaking here and there? And also, is he just giving effort defensively? Do we see more buy-in on that end of the floor? Those are the two areas where if he improves, then he's looking at a nice payday next offseason. So in closing, I think both sides have points. What he's doing as a scorer at 23 years old needs to be respected. It's not easy to do. But also, right now he's just a scorer. The remaining question, is that a product of him being 23 years old and still growing as a player while also being on losing teams, or is that just who Cam Thomas is? I truly don't know, but I'm going to be watching. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments section.